Happy New Year! It is 2022, thank goodness. It's a new year. I'm so happy the 2021 is over. I hope that you all had some wonderful celebrations of whichever festivals you celebrate over the winter period. And it is time for our first TBR of the new year. Now I realise I haven't done my reading goals video yet, that's going to come next week. So some of these are for challenges that you don't know about yet, but we'll get to them when we get to them. So without any further ado, here is my January TBR. Now one challenge I did mention in a video last year is that I would like to really encourage / force myself to finally read all the books about the Tudors I have on my TBR. Tudor shelf. This is the Tudor shelf. So I'm starting off with honestly quite an intimidating one. It's like 600 pages long, and that is Catherine of Aragon, the True Queen by Alison Weir. This is a fiction novel, historical fiction, about Catherine of Aragon, who is the first of Henry VIII's wives, and this is the first in a series of 6 books, one for each wife. I'm a big fan of Alison Weir's books that I've read in the past. I've read some of her non-fiction, some of her fiction, and I have a lot of her books on my TBR. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I bought it a couple of years ago and was just so excited to get to it. But because it is long, I have been scared. So no more. This is the year. I'm saying this. Hold me to it. This is the year we're going to read those chunky books on my shelf. I am also challenging myself to read at least one non-fiction book every month, and this month I have picked The Five by Hallie Rubenholt. This is history again, and is kind of a collection of biographies about Jack the Ripper's victims. The only thing that they're known for that connects them is the fact that they were all killed by the same man, and this book kind of sets out to tell their stories of their lives and what their day-to-day lives were, what their lives were like, and to distance them from their murders. Again, I picked this up a couple of years ago, and I've been looking every so often. I'm like, oh, I should read that, and then something else comes up. So this is the month. This is the year. All those things that we say in January's. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be really interesting. And I'm hoping that as it's kind of about 5 different people, that it's the sort of book where you can sort of read a section and, put it down if you need to have a break, which I always like with non-fiction books. I also decided to take part in Buzzword-A-Thon this year. So this is a challenge where every month you have a different prompt of like a buzzword or a theme of words, collection of words to choose from. And the January prompt is the 5 W words plus how. So that's who, where, what, why, which, and how. And I'm rereading This Is How You Lose the Time War by, and I'm going to look down to make sure I get this right, Amal El Mottar and Max Gladstone. I can never remember when there's more than one author. I can never remember them. As I said, this is a reread. I'm currently listening to the audiobook of this one, and I think it's quite a nice one for the audiobook because it is written in a very sort of literary fiction style. It is science fiction. It follows 2 androids, kind of robot warrior people who are on opposite sides of the Time War, and they start corresponding, and that changes them both and their relationship to each other, and kind of exploring that. And because it is written in a very sort of literary fiction style, then I think the audiobook is working quite well for me because it reads it out at the same speed I would probably read it in my head. So it's quite a nice way to revisit it. And I'm already about halfway through because I did have a long car journey yesterday. So yeah, enjoying that one. Now at the end of last year, I was like, I'm really looking forward to reading through all of these NetGalley books I've got because I can't be trusted on NetGalley. And, next year I'm going to be good. I'm going to concentrate on the books that I already have. And then I did some more late night NetGalleying, and the rest of my TBR is all NetGalley books. So here we go. Actually, tell a lie. The first one is one that was sent to me by an author, and that is If I Were a Weapon by Skye Killeen. This is a science fiction story, I believe a kind of post-apocalyptic story. I think the main character is also sapphic. I'm not sure exactly what identity she has, but I believe there's a sapphic romance in there as well. The next one, which I am currently reading, is One Verse Multi by Sander Santiago. This is some more science fiction. There's a lot of science fiction on this TBR, accidentally, which is great because that's something I want to read more of. And this is a science fiction, romance, futuristic, multiverse kind of thing. I'm reading at the moment. I'm very much enjoying it. It is going really well. It's great. And this follows our main character, Martin, who he works for the multiverse something. I can't remember what the last letter in the acronym stands for, but it's MVP is the group, who monitor the multiverse, make sure that everything is going okay. And I'm just at the very, very start at the moment. I've read about a quarter, maybe a bit less than a quarter. You know, sometimes things don't quite go to plan in the multiverse, and that's where Martin comes in to sort things out. So really, I'm very intrigued as to where this one is going to go. I could not tell you, and I'm loving that. Next is Other Parents by Sarah Stovell. This is, I think it's a contemporary and is about a small town and how the parents react to having an unconventional, i.e. not heteronormative family next door, and that sort of PTA drama, which I mean, it's not something I usually read, but not necessarily because I don't enjoy it, you know? So looking forward to that one. I think that's going to be an entertaining one, and hopefully have some sort of insight and commentary in it as well. And then last on my list for this month is Win Chelsea by Alex Preston. Now, when I requested this many moons ago, I'm sure I read the blurb and was really excited to read it. I could not tell you right now what happens. It's got a ship on the front. I mean, to be fair, that's me sold. That is me sold. I believe it's fantasy. Hopefully there's pirates or some sort of nautical travelling adventure theme. I'm sure I'll have a great time. I must have thought so when I requested it on NetGalley. So I'll let you know. Thank you so much for joining me for the first TBR of 2022. Let me know in the comments what you are planning on reading this month. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!